todos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a esta parte de las entrevistas que tengo acá otro invitado especial. Es una persona que ha estado en muchos proyectos muy buenos, muy buenos. Es tecladista de la banda Ides of March y entre otras cosas hizo la música para las películas de Robert De Niro y Ben Stiller, Meet the Parents. Junto a su esposa Chris vive en los suburbios de Chicago. Es padre de 3 hijos y 3 nietos, y aunque no lo parezca, bueno, ahora tiene la barba un poquito más grande, pero con la poca barba que tenía parecía de mi edad. Se lo acabo de decir antes de la entrevista. Él es nada más y nada menos que Scott May. Scott, brother, how are you doing?
I'm fabulous. I hope that was. I don't understand much Spanish, but boy, I hope were talking good about me there.
Yeah. I was talking about all the wives that you have and all that you never sold any record in your life.
No, well, you know, I, on my own, you're probably right. I know enough Spanish to go into a restaurant. Dos más margaritas, por favor.
Ah, you are covered. That's enough. Tell me, how are you doing?
I'm great. Everything's wonderful. A lot of things going on as always, and lots of projects. Ides of March, Hammond organ, other musical interests, and writing and videos, and you name it, and I'm doing it.
You are in Chicago, right?
Yes, I am in the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
Far western suburbs of Chicago, and I've lived here my entire life, and I love it here. And there you go.
Well, you have the best pizza in the country, at least.
The what?
The best pizza.
Oh, well, my wife is from New York City.
Oh.
And she's turned me on to New York pizza, which is a completely different thing than Chicago pizza. But yeah, I'm a foodie, and we've got a place here called Pequod's that's been on all the TV shows. That's my favorite. I love it.
I'm a foodie too. There's more conversation after the interview, okay? So tell me you mentioned a little bit of Ides and what are you doing with the Ides?
Well, I've been with the Ides of March for now 35 years. I'm the new guy. The band has been together with all the original guys for 60 years. 60 years of the Ides of March, and we're still we're not like moldy oldie, guys walking out with a walker, and it's not like the bass player's second cousin is in the band, and that's it. All the original guys, Jim Peterick, Mike Borch, Bob Berglund, and Larry Millis, and we're all from the same town in the suburbs of Chicago called Berwyn. And Berwyn and Cicero, by the way, I know we're going out to the Latin-speaking public. That is Berwyn and Cicero have become really a diverse, mostly Mexican culture. So that kind of thing has kind of seeped into our lives a little bit, which is great. Great music, great music, and great food, and great people. So there you go.
A lot of tacos around.
Yeah, there's lots of tacos around, lots of cerveza. but I've been with the band for 35 years, and I'm the keyboard player, Hammond organ, and all the other little things that I do, mellotron, and I help with some of the writing and some of the arranging with Jim and the rest of the guys, and growing up with them, with the Ides of March being such a big band, for me it was like joining the Beatles, So.
Well, let's say, I mean, there's no comparison. I don't like to compare bands, but still, Vehicle is a song that sounds everywhere. I mean, it's a classic.
It's a classic, and it's one of those songs that you never get tired of listening to. I mean, I'm in the band. I play that song all the time. I listen to it, and when it comes on the radio and I'm in the car, I turn it up because I love to hear it. And we never get sick of playing it. We never get sick of singing it because it's a song that everybody likes so much. And it's one of those songs. There's a bunch of songs that are like that. You never get tired of hearing them or playing them, and that's Vehicle.
Let me ask you about Jim. Let me give a small introduction about Jim. Jim Peterick is the original guy from Ides, but he also got famous for The Eye of the Tiger, the Rocky, movie, and Survivor, all that stuff. And now everybody knows who's Jim. Just in case they don't know, How was the first time you met Jim?
Well, I was a lot younger, and Jim was. I went to high school um, in Cicero, Illinois, and the college that was attached to our high school was in the same building. And every day I would go to English class at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there was this girl who would go to the window because it was on a main street, and she'd open up the window and yell, "Hey, Peterick!" And and I go, what is she doing every day? Who's Peterick? And and this is before Vehicle. And I would go there, and there would be Jim walking with his long hair down the main street to his car. And I'd go to this girl. I said, "Who's Jim Peter?" "Well, he's in the Ides of March. Don't you know the Ides of March?" Well, I didn't know the Ides of March at the time. This was 68, maybe 69. It was pre-Vehicle. And then I found out who the Ides of March were, and I became very conscious. And then another friend of mine who was I was in band, and he was one of the trumpet players. He got asked to be in the Ides of March. So all of a sudden, this guy I've known since fourth grade is in the Ides of March, and very shortly after that, Vehicle hit. And now this guy that I've gone to school with since fourth grade is a big rock star. So I became really, really aware of the Ides of March at that point. And I'm over the years, because musicians, it was a small town, and the guys in the Ides, I got to say, are the nicest guys in the world. They do not have an attitude. They do not have any kind of. They're not negative towards their fans or negative towards anything else, and they kind of took me and a couple friends of mine in, as we were kind of insiders, and I've known the guys ever since. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Nice, nice. And also you did the music for Meet the Parents, right?
Well, Meet the Parents. Now, this is not Ides of March.
Okay.
I was in the comedy business for a long time. I was with a comedian named Judy Tenuta and Emo Phillips, and through them I met a lot of other comedians. And there's a fellow named Greg Gliena, and he made this movie called Meet the Parents, and I did all the music for it. And when the movie got done, he looked for somebody to distribute the movie, and for 10 years nobody looked at the movie. He couldn't get anything until at the end, Steven Spielberg, I think it was Spielberg, um, worked out a deal with Universal or whoever put the movie out, and they bought the rights to the movie. They completely rewrote it. They got somebody else to do the music. They got somebody else to star in it, and they remade the movie, and that's the movie that everybody knows. But the original movie, I did all the music for.
That's I didn't know. It was when you search on Wikipedia, and I search for different places, but still in Wikipedia say like, oh, okay, Meet the Parents, nice. Yeah.
It's one of the highest grossing movies of all times, and the original is darker and a little bit more weird than the one that stars De Niro and Ben Stiller. But they made three sequels to Meet the Parents, and there's been talk for a long time that they wanted to make a version, a box set of all three of the Meet the Parents movies with our movie included in the set. But I don't know if that ever happened or is going to happen.
Mm.
Greg has gone on to do a bunch of movies. He's a big Hollywood guy now. He works with the big pros. He does.
Right.
I don't get those jobs.
So tell me your plans, end of the year, 2025. What is going on with you?
Well, yeah, end of the year. It's always the Christmas time is always a big deal for us. For the Ides of March, we have a big Christmas show. Uh, I was very lucky to write with Jim and write some really great original Christmas music. Um, and we have a show that we put on every year that the first half of the show is all of our Christmas music, and every guy in the band gets featured. The brass section gets featured. Everybody sings a song or two. We have some traditional carols in there. I always do a poem. I always do a recitation, and then we take a break, and then we come back for the second half. We do all of our rock and roll hits.
Oh,
You know,
good,
that's
good, good.
that's
I wish I could be there. Even it's cold. Uh, I wish I could, experience that. It sounds good.
it's well, you're always invited. But the if people go to our website, theidesofmarch.com, theidesofmarch.com, all the stuff is in there, and I invite people to come to my website, scottmaymusic.com. You can put that up on the screen somewhere up there, and check out my music.
What
And
is your music about? Last question. I know you're busy. What is your music about?
uh, I I I make all different kinds of music. It's all can be considered rock or pop, but I play a lot of guitar on it. I'm normally a keyboard player, but I do play a lot of guitar, and I sing, and so it's my outlet to do the things I don't get to do with the Ides of March. And they're very very different. There's all different kinds of styles. I've got some great musicians, guest musicians on it, and I invite everybody to go to scottmaymusic.com and take a look at my records. I think you'll like them.
Scottmusic.com, okay? Está todo. You can buy all the records over there, okay? He has a bunch in the bag, I see, okay? Do you got,
That's my office. That's my that's the stuff that I use all the time. I play all the time. All the rest of the huge library is over there somewhere.
do you collect?
Well, I mean, it's been a long time, and I keep everything. I've got lots of LPs and lots of CDs and lots of stuff on the computer. But
So
you
we
know, I'm
gotta we gotta talk about food and then collections because I am also a collector.
not.
We're gonna be good buddies.
Yes, well, this is the start of a wonderful friendship.
I count on that. Scott, thank you for your time.
It's been my privilege and my pleasure, and muchas gracias to you, senor. And we're going to be amigos for a long time.
You are here. Thanks. Gracias.